Hi everybody, this is John from Snap-on John 100, and this is a part 2 of my first favorite knives. This is a fixed blade favorite knives list, and I just added the bag and the revolver for suspense and danger. Alright, let's the first class of knife we're gonna pan over here to the what I would call survival knives, and let's try to see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. Let's see, I can see where I am. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to have to do this by hand because it's too hard to do this from a tripod. The first group are considered survival knives, and I'm going to start back here. We'll have them with their sheaths. This is SE. This is the SE5. This is actually the one I got from SEP. I put a convex grind on it and got some of the green off. This is the sheath. I upgraded the sheath, so it comes in a sheath with a pocket on the top and molly webbing all across the back. Okay, that's the number one. Number two is one of my favorites. It's the Blind Horse Knife Pathfinder 1 knife designed by Dave Canterbury. I consider that a survival knife. That's the sheath it comes in. The second one is a Tops cross-country survival, cross-country emergency survival tool. So it's 1/4 inch thick, very short blade. It's designed for drilling. It's designed actually to make fire bow sets. There's a divot in the handle for your spindle. Okay, it comes in this cool pouch. Also had a whole bunch of survival stuff with it. It flops over, and it's got a pocket on the top also. Okay, that's a number 3. Number 4 is the SE4. I consider that kind of a survival knife also. It comes in this kind of pouch, Kydex sheath mounted on a nylon webbing, similar to the 5. It's got molly attachment from the back, and I think you probably could put a pocket on this one too. I just didn't purchase one. Okay, so those are the survival knives. The SE1, the Bushcrafter Pathfinder knife, I consider that kind of survival because it's a little larger. The Tops cross-country emergency survival tool, and the SE4 knife. Okay, the next category would be hunting knives, and those are right here. The first one is this would be a small trout and bird knife. Comes in this sheath. This is made by Cold Steel. Very cool. It's a really old design. It's a copy of some design I forget, but it was a really old design. But that's really sharp. It's got a chisel bevel, so it's only on one side. But it's a trout and bird knife. And there's the case for it right there. The next one is another trout and bird knife, and this one's made, the reason why I like this is it's made by a guy named Kelgen from Indiana, and that's where I'm from. It comes in that sheath, and that's it. Very small. See, it's got nice file work on the back, the blade. It's got full tang construction, very, very small and delicate, but that's called a trout and bird knife. Okay, it comes in a pouch type sheath like that. The next one is his hunting knife, same general design. I consider even it's trout and bird, it's still a hunting knife. This is a little bit larger, file work on the back, full tang, just like the other one. It's just heavy duty. This is his hunter, and the guy's name is Kelgen. Okay, those are hunting knife. Here's a Gerber Not sure the model of this thing, but it's full tang construction. It's a little more like a survival style blade. It's a drop point, full tang, as you can see. Really nice, made in USA. Almost every one of these are made in the United States. I think the cold steel is the one. It's about the only one that's not made in the United States out of the ones I'm shown so far. Okay, now my favorite hunting knife. This one has a story behind it. It's a buck model. I think it's let's see, I gotta look on this. I'm not sure. Let me get this out. But it has a flap over case. They don't make that anymore. Hang on just a second. It's a buck 102. It's a model 102. And as you see, the condition that that's in is just about mint condition. So you can tell this was taken care of. This knife was given to me when I was about 12 years old. So that makes it 42 years old. This was the first sheath knife. My dentist, we had a bunch of land, and so I could hunt. It didn't matter what age I was or anything. And my father taught me how to shoot when I was 6 years old, 5 and 6 actually. So by the time I was 12, I was handling all kinds of firearms. But my dentist took me out to our farms, squirrel hunting, and he took me there the first time. The next time he saw me, he presented this knife to me. He said I was the safest person he'd ever been hunting with ever in his entire life, and he just wanted me to have this. So this was a gift from him. And he's also the first person to show me how to skin a squirrel the same way I do now. So that's my favorite little hunting knife I still have. Okay, next category, bushcrafting knives. Here's one of my favorites. Let me just go through. I'll show you these in the sheath, and then I'll take them all out so I'm not fumbling with the camera. The first one is the Pathfinder 2. I think that was also designed by Dave Canterbury. It's a more diminutive size, same thickness. It's 01 steel as opposed to 1095. It's got a nice leather sheath with a fire steel loop in it, and it's a dangler. The second one is a Bushcraft Northwest 01. I turned it into a dangler by putting a stainless carabiner on it and a steel ring. So I like dangler sheaths because I like to wear backpacks, and the waist strap gets in the way of the knife, so I like having it low and also freely swinging. Okay, this has a nice sheath with it with a fire steel loop in it. The second one, or the third one, is a Enzo Trapper. It's a dangler, fairly just a plain sheath. And the fourth one is a Boker. I did the same thing, turned it into a dangler sheath with a carabiner I got from Sepp, and this is a Boker stainless, and it's stainless steel full tang. So I'll get them all out and then show you those just a second. First one is the blind horse made Pathfinder 2. It's got a 4-inch blade, Scandi grind, full tang. I just love this. I actually like using this better than the 5-inch one because I tend to like smaller blades. I really love this one. It's very thick steel for the length, and it's got the Scandi grind. It's a gorgeous knife. You can tell the quality just when you pick it up. The second one is the Bushcraft Northwest Model 1. I modified. It comes with a. This is a bamboo, impregnated bamboo scales, full tang construction. I took some off the top. It was my fingers aren't that long, so this was a little bit fat in my hand. So I kept the belly down the bottom, but I cut this down a little bit. this one has just about become my favorite bushcraft knife. I love the way this handles. Scandi grind, it's 01 steel also. Just a gorgeous looking knife. And I really like the way it fits into its sheath. The next one's the Enzo Trapper. They are beautiful. Scandi grind. This is 01 steel also, I think. And it's got liner locks. It's kind of an olive micarta with red liners, and then it's full tang Scandi grind. I really like this one also. Beautiful. And this Boker, this is a German made knife. This is got bird's eye maple scales. It's full tang, but it's also a tapered tang, so it's balanced. The balance is really good, and it's got a full flat grind. But this is just a beautiful knife. It's a stainless blade. Gorgeous handle. The handle also is contoured for your fingers. Just a beautifully made knife. Okay, next we're going to go to neck knives. And my neck knives, my favorite neck knife is this one, and this is the SE2. It's a little bit bigger than the SE1. It's got full-size micarta scales on it, and I've modified the sheath so that it can have a light and ferro rod and a whistle in there, and it's right there. Beautiful knife. That's the Azula II. Okay, that's a picture of that right there, Azula II. Favorite neck knife. And then the next neck knife, well, I've turned it into a neck knife, is my Mora. This is the only Mora I own, and it's the Triflex carbon steel, but it's a sandwich. It's folded carbon steel, so you've got a very hard inner core, and then the outsides are softer. And it's got a birch handle. Most of them seem to be painted red. This one's never. This was just a blonde handle. It's got full tang. You can see right there, and really razor sharp. It seems like a fairly thick knife. I'm not sure if this is any thicker than the other Moras, because I've really never held another Mora, but this is the one I happen to have, and I really like it. The sheath also, no one likes their Mora sheath. This one came with a leather sheath, so I still don't understand. It must have been some other model, I'm not sure, but it's a leather sheath, and then I just put some jute twine around it, and then I dipped it in wax so it was waterproofed. And then there's a fire steel right there and a striker on the back. And I turned that in my neck knife, and I made a braided cord out of paracord. Okay, next, tactical knives. And my favorite tactical knife is Bark River. And almost everybody's seen one of those. Let's see if I can get a good picture of it. That's just a beautiful knife. Real heavy steel, full tang construction. Just beautifully made. It's got a convex grind, micarta scales. Super well made. I just love this one. Okay, sheath is not too impressed with the sheath, but other technical knives. I used to scuba when I was younger. This is a Techna, and this is made in Japan. This is a dive knife that I don't cut myself trying to get it out. Just basically steel, Techna, sharpened on both sides. That's why I call it a tactical blade. Okay, this other one is designed by Blackie Collins. It's a Gerber. Same thing. I can get it out here. It's got a single edge grind. That's partially serrated, and that's Blackie Collins designed that. Kind of a boot knife looking thing. And my last tactical knife is one I've had a long time, and that's the Cold Steel Tanto. Really think this is a cool knife. Tanto blade, very heavy. I guess this is a skull crusher pommel or glass breaker, whatever you call it. That's a Tanto. I really like that one. And then my large blade, the only large blade knife I have is this Ontario made. It's made in It's made in New York, actually. It's an Ontario spec machete. So it's like a survival machete. It's about 12-inch blade, and it's sharpened on the end. And I put a convex edge on the whole thing all the way around because it was not very sharp at all. Now it's really sharp. It's got kind of a sawtooth notching blade on the back and the spine. So for batoning, it's a little bit tricky, but it's really good for notching if you need to notch something. But that's my large blade. And my last one that I almost forgot, this is set up as a neck knife, but it's kind of an in-between, and it's the SE3. It's got about a 3-inch blade, and I think it's just, I like the Azula better because it's smaller for a neck knife. They're the two side by side. And so I kind of like the Azula better for the neck knife. The SE3 is better, more like just a tiny sheath knife, really. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I sure did, walking down memory lane. And we'll do a little sweep here. Some of them. Ooh, danger over there. There's the survival knives. Thank you, Sep. And then thank you, Dave, for designing that fantastic blade. And then over here. And back more of my Bushcraft knives here. Great design, Mike. Another winner, Dave. I like that one. I hope you enjoyed this. Once again, John from Snap-on John 100. Have a super day. Bye-bye.